Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Good morning, friend, and thanks for listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I am talking a little bit quieter right now because the whole house is sleeping. And I have to wake up at the crack of dawn to do anything, really. So here we are. I wanted to address basically the other half of mamas who I didn't address yesterday. I'm not completely unaware that most of you guys are in a different situation to those that I spoke to on the last episode about embracing the slow pace. I think that for me, it's easier because that is currently the situation I'm in. My job is fully aware that I have 3 kids at home and they don't expect me to perform the same amount of duties as I would in office. And I know a lot of you are under different circumstances where even though you're home, your job very much expects you to perform under the same requirements, same work output, all this. They still expect the same. Totally not acknowledging the fact that you are a parent and that when you're at home with kiddos, they want your full attention. They have needs. Like, there are so many things going on. You're trying to be parent, teacher, wife, employee, all these things at the same time. And so yesterday's episode might have PO'd you a little bit, right? Like, embracing the slow pace. Like, how could I possibly even think about anything else when I'm trying to just like stay above water here and I can barely keep up with my workflow, plus feeding the kids, plus entertaining them, plus trying to be their teacher, plus all these things, right? Here's the thing. I just want to encourage you right now because I know what you're doing is impossible and you are making it possible somehow. You are surviving and thriving right now is not even an option. And that's kind of what I want to encourage you in today is that it is just a season. This is just a season. It's an awful one. It's a random one. It's one that a lot of us are unfortunate to be placed in. The expectations for us are extremely high and unattainable at most. And so I want to encourage you in this season that it is just that. If we can get through it, you can do it. It's going to be hard. You're probably going to cry a lot. You're going to be tired. You're going to be exhausted. At the end of the day, you're going to be extremely drained. And I think that that's okay. It's okay to be all the things all at once. And I just want to encourage you that even when you feel like you're failing, when you're not enough, I promise you, because you're showing up, you're doing all that you can. It's not going unnoticed. I know it's hard. I know it's a struggle. I know that you're tired, you're exhausted, and you feel like you have no more to give. And I feel like those are completely normal feelings. I feel like you're valid in those feelings. And I feel like in this season where you're walking through hell, that you just have to take one step at a time. You just have to make it through and think about the next thing that you have to do. And take it one day at a time. And I'll acknowledge it for you, the fact that it's okay that it feels like it's unfair. It feels like you have an unattainable amount of expectations placed on you from your employer. And I feel like it's okay to feel like it's unfair. At the same time, I feel like your little sliver of peace and hope is that you do have a job during these times, because many are losing their job. They're going unemployed. But that's just like a small little sliver, right? Like, there's so much more that I feel like it makes that almost like not even a thing to be during the day. You just want to throw a frying pan at my head when you hear me say that, right? So I just wanted to throw that out there to keep that in mind. But I know it's hard, and I know that it's almost impossible. So I just want to acknowledge you in that today, that while you're doing the impossible, you're still an amazing mom. You're still an amazing employee. You're choosing to show up every day and do your best. And this time doesn't have any protocols. Like there's no rules. It's just about surviving, helping your family get through the day, helping yourself get through the day. That means that it might look like a little bit too much TV. That means it might look like a little bit too much snacking during the day for the kids, or iPads, and electronics, or whatever. And I know that it's stressful. I'm imagining you sitting with your laptop on your couch, trying to be somewhat present for your kids, but then them like fighting constantly and you having to be interrupted. And then the dog needs to go out, and then somebody's hungry and they need a snack, or somebody needs to be guided on a homework tutorial online, or, there's kinks here and everybody's crying, or you're completely having to put yourself in another room and be unavailable and hope that your kids are somehow not doing anything that they aren't supposed to be doing, and that you won't find that the house is on fire in 15 minutes. So here's what I want for you the most. I want for you to show up each day as your best. I want you to go to bed as early as humanly possible. I want you to focus not on your house, but doing the bare minimum and spending the rest of the time connecting with your spouse, because that is the one thing that you need to focus on right now. Like you don't need to be focusing on all these other things and hobbies. Like if you have the chance, great. But like right now, you're just trying to get through this, right? And so I think just the most important things, the bare minimum things, like connecting with your spouse, pouring back into yourself somehow. I know that you want to throw a frying pan at me on that as well. And but you have to, like in this time, because you're going to burn yourself out. That's unavoidable, I believe, at this point. And you are also going to just be depleted. And so if you are pouring out, just like a gas tank, right? Like you can go, but like the car is going to stop eventually because you're going to run out of gas. So you need to fill yourself up. And maybe that looks like having a Zoom call with a glass of wine with some girlfriends at the end of the night. I saw some girlfriends sent me an image of like some friends meeting up at a parking lot and then parking 6 feet apart, and they just sat in the trunks of their car with their, the trunks open, and they had their coffee together, while social distancing. So maybe it looks something like that, to where you still have time to connect. Maybe it's you have a Zoom call with your friend and a glass of wine. Maybe it's that you take a bath and you read by yourself. I think this time also calls for you really, 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 really communicating with your spouse, your partner, your grandparents, whoever, and saying like, I need help in this time. I need support. Maybe that looks like hiring a nanny temporarily. Maybe that looks like having a grandparent come over. I know that we're supposed to be social distancing, but I also know that the health of the people around you. You know who the people around you are exposing yourself to. I'm not saying to do this, but I'm just saying you have to do what you have to do to get through these times. You trust your gut. You trust what you think is best for your family, the functioning of your family, while also maintaining some sort of sanity and functionability for yourself, right? So whether that looks like I said, the Zoom call with your friends, maybe that looks like having a binging time, like you schedule a binge time to watch Netflix and The Tiger King. I don't know, whatever you need to do to just like go completely brain dead at the end of the day, relax, rejuvenate, step outside of your roles that you played all day long, and pour back into yourself. It might be like a 30-minute window. It might be a 5-minute window before you need to get to bed. But do something, right? Like journal, do something to just decompress, because I know it's a lot. I know you have so much weight on your shoulders right now. And I want you to know that I'm praying for you. I'm thinking about you this morning. As soon as I'm done with this episode, I'm going to be just like praying over all the mamas that I know are like doing the unimaginable and have so much to do during the day, have so many people expecting things that are not easy for you to achieve right now. And I can only imagine the added stressors, like having to take care of an elderly parent on top of all this, having to financially provide for family members because they've lost their jobs during all this, or what have you. I know that you guys are going through it right now, and I want you to know that I'm not blinded towards that. just certain situations I don't think about at the time of recording because that's not the situation that I'm in. But that doesn't mean that I'm not aware of you that are going through it in different ways. And so I wanted to create this episode to acknowledge you, to encourage you that you're doing awesome, you're doing great. Maybe you aren't doing great, and maybe you're just floating barely by the bare minimum, and that's okay too. It's okay to be just getting by in this season, and that is all that it is. I want to remind you of that it's just a season. You will get through this. It will be different coming on the other side of it as well, and that'll be another season. But right now, just focus on this season, focus on getting through it. Know that it's temporary, it's not forever, and that you're not expected to do everything 100%. Ask the people around you, whoever is helping you, your spouse, what have you, like, let them know that, hey, like, I can't do this on my own. I need you to help me. Ask for help. Be verbal. Be very communicative in this time, because I feel like if you're not, you're going to struggle even worse because you're trying to do too much without asking for the help that you really need. Coming up with a schedule for people, whether it's, if you and your spouse are both stuck working from home, it's, blocking out your time of, I'm going to work in the morning to early afternoon. Once the lunch shift comes, I, will do lunch and then take over the kids so you can work, and you work on from, late afternoon until the early evening. Like, you have to come up with some sort of system to function and just get through. And I hope that you know that I'm cheering you on. I mean, I'm proud of you. I hope you know that you're an amazing, awesome person, and you're so strong and you can get through this. So I just wanted to leave you with that. I know that this wasn't very there was no steps, or there was no guide, or I can't give you the success plan for this season, because the season is just insane and there is no plan, right? We're just trying to survive. So I just want to let you know that you are on my mind. I'm cheering for you. I can't wait to see you get through the other side, because you're going to be so much stronger. And I really, truly believe that you can do this and you can get through it. So I hope this was helpful to you. I hope that maybe you have found yourself crying and you have found yourself having an outlet, or maybe a sigh of relief from hearing this, or maybe even encouragement. I don't really know if this is going to give you what you need, but I just felt like you needed to hear it if you're in this place of, man, I'm just feeling overwhelmed. And I hope, and my personal belief is that, I pray and I turn to God with a lot of my things, and I hope that you really, really lean on him if you are in the same boat as me in your faith, and that whatever it is you choose to believe in, you really lean on that right now, and you really lean on those around you and those who want to help, and you really pour out to your spouse, and you pour into yourself, most importantly. So I want to leave you with that. I'm going to stop talking. And I hope you have an awesome day. I hope you try to get through and find the little nuggets of sunshine, and give yourself the gift of a 5-minute dance party, your favorite tea, Zoom calling a friend in the middle of your workflow, chatting with, FaceTiming with a family member, giving a call, setting up daily call breaks with other friends who are working at home, having those meetups in the parking lot with your friends at 7 a.m., drinking a cup of coffee to chat for 30 minutes and check in and visibly be there, and physically be there, so that way you can, feel like you're still functioning as a normal adult and human being, other than a human tissue rag, or a taxi, or a snack maker, and all the things mom. So you're awesome. You can do this, and I will catch you guys next time.